Hello everybody. In today's video we're going to be setting up and installing a ADSL router. Specifically the one you see in front of you, which I've unboxed previously on this channel. Check out the link below. The TP-Link TD-W8970. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of this box, plug it in, show you how to do that, and then we're going to go on the computer and set it up and connect it to the internet. So the first thing we need to do is get it out of this box. What we're going to need for this is the router itself, power for the router, and some routers come with these pre-installed, but these are the Wi-Fi aerials we're going to have to screw onto the back of it. A microfilter, that's what plugs into the telephone line, and then the cable to go between the router and the telephone line to allow it to connect to the internet. And finally, a network cable to plug the router to the computer. So on this TP-Link router, the first thing we need to do is screw in the aerial cable, aerials. That is as simple as screwing it in like so. So there they are, you can point them in any direction you like. Angle them, whatever you like, get the widest spread possible. I'm just going to have them sticking up, I think, for now. Take the plastic covering off. It's always satisfying taking the plastic covering off. Oh yeah! Okay, we've got the aerials installed. Next thing we need to do is plug the telephone cable in. So this is the microfilter. This is our telephone cable. That plugs into there. The other end of this plugs into the back of the router. On the left here, pushes in and clicks. There's a little lever if you need to release it. The other end of this goes into the telephone line. You're best off putting it in the main telephone socket, so the BT socket if you've got one, where the telephone line comes into your house. It'll give us the best, quickest, most stable connection possible. Put that to one side for now. Then obviously you need a network cable to plug the router to the computer. There it is. So this goes from the back of the router, once again, number 1 slot, so that's probably the far left hand one, yep. Plugs in just like the telephone socket, and the other end of this plugs into the network port on your computer. Finally, the last thing to plug into the router is the power. Pretty simple, that plugs into the back of the router. And the other end goes into the wall. So there's the Ethernet port on the back of my computer. The plug, other end of this cable is plugged into the router, as you saw a second ago, and we just plug that in there with a click. Perfect. Into the other socket on the microfilter, we plug in the telephone. And then this whole thing plugs into the wall. So that's it for plugging in the router. We've got the power cable going to the power socket, we've got the network cable going to the computer, and the telephone line cable going to the microfilter, which is plugged into the main BT socket. So now we've powered on the router, you can see that the power is on, the Wi-Fi is on, and the computer is connected to it. Now we've plugged it all in, we need to configure the router through our browser. Apologies for the dodgy camera work here. I'm not at home, so I don't have my screen recording software. I'll try and do the best I can. To get to the admin page of the router, you need to go to your browser, in this case Google Chrome, and type in 192.168.1.1. That's usually the default for your router. It'll say it's in the manual if it's something other than that. If not, try Googling your make of router. Usually though, it's 192.168.1.1. So the first thing you'll be presented with is the login screen. The default password for this one is or the default username and password is admin for this router specifically. Sometimes it's admin and password, sometimes it could be administrator and password. They're all pretty standard. Check out your user manual to find out what it is for your router. Admin. Hit enter. And for this TP-Link router, it comes up with a quick setup start guide, so we're going to go through this. This guide will help you set the basic parameters for internet connection. So basically you type in your username and password through this guide. So we hit next. So on this screen we need to type in parameters which are provided for you by the RISP. Obviously your country, in this case is UK, ISP, in this case is Zen. The VPI and VCI are normally 0 and 38. Yep, they are 0 and 38 on my paperwork, so that's fine. The standard connection type in the UK is going to be PPPoA. In fact, you can't even choose anything other than that for your chosen ISP. So we hit next. Next it's going to ask us for our username and password. Type that in. It's case sensitive, to watch out for that. The next screen it will present you with after your username and password is a wireless setup page. So the only things you're really going to want to change on this page are the wireless network name, so that's what your devices see when they try to connect to it, and the Wi-Fi password. You might want to make it something memorable. Once you fill those things in, hit next. So once you set up your Wi-Fi and confirmed all the settings on a summary screen, it's now going to go through all the settings and try and connect everything, configure the Wi-Fi, connect the internet, that kind of thing. Then we are all done. As you can see, we now have an internet connection light flashing. The Wi-Fi light is flashing, so we can connect our devices to it. On the computer, we can go on the internet. So everything's set up. If you have been, guys, thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Make sure you check out the unboxing video of this router. The principles I've shown you here will apply to any router. Most of them come with a quick setup guide. All the settings are going to be mostly the default that it already comes with. Hit subscribe up here to be notified of my new videos, and please hit like if this video has been useful for you. Cheers, guys.